All right, let's get into it. So, this whole mess with Diddy isn't just about him anymore. It's spiraling into something way bigger. And now even names like Rihanna, Beyonce, and Jay-Z are getting pulled into the mix. What started as a few lawsuits has turned into a web of accusations, secrets, and silence. And it's got people asking, who really knew what was going on behind those velvet ropes? Here's what people are whispering. Allegedly, Rihanna isn't staying quiet anymore. She's been around these people, she's seen things, and now folks say she's finally speaking up about how Beyonce and Jay-Z were tied to Diddy long before things hit the fan.
But see, Sean Carter doesn't like to be embarrassed in public, and neither does his wife.
It's not that shocking if you've followed this industry for a while. These folks partied together, worked together, and were often seen in each other's circles. So when the lawsuits started flying in, some weren't surprised that more names would be mentioned. What was surprising, though, was how fast certain names, like Jay and Bey, started getting defended hard. Their lawyer, Alex Spiro, came out swinging the second someone even hinted that they were involved in anything shady. He's been shutting down media outlets left and right, especially after that Jaguar Wright interview on Piers Morgan's show. Jaguar didn't hold back. She straight up said Beyonce and Jay-Z had just as much dirt as Diddy, maybe more. And before the public could even digest it, the interview was scrubbed from the internet like it never existed.
Okay, for now, focus here for a minute. Don't worry, their drama will keep going on. Think a little about yourself too. An Indonesian scientist has uncovered a shocking truth about belly fat, and it has nothing to do with diet or exercise. 95% of people who tried this strange bedtime ritual lost 25 pounds or more. Some even dropped over 50, all while sleeping. No gym, no starving, just one simple step before bed. It sounds crazy, but it's backed by science. Tap the link in the description and see for yourself.
Except, of course, for the few clips viewers managed to save before the purge. Now, if you're wondering why people like Rihanna are relevant to all of this, it's because she used to be tight with the Carter. Back when she was coming up, Jay-Z was one of her biggest champions. There were even rumors of something more going on between them, which Beyonce never publicly addressed, but her body language always said plenty. Despite all that, Rihanna never once did a track with Beyonce. That's wild when you think about it. Two of the biggest female artists in the world, both dominating the charts, and not a single collab? People chalked it up to rivalry, jealousy, or just business. But now, some think it was way deeper. See, there's this theory going around that Rihanna started distancing herself once she saw what was really happening behind the scenes. Allegedly, she wasn't okay with the vibe, the energy, and what was expected of people in those inner circles. And when you think about how her career took a different route, more independent, more on her own terms, it kind of adds up. She dipped right when things were getting sketchy. Then there's that viral clip of her smirking when asked about being at one of Diddy's infamous parties. That moment sent the internet spiraling. Was she laughing because the rumor was ridiculous, or because she knew exactly what those parties were like? People who know her say she's subtle like that. She's not the type to spell things out, but she will let you know without saying a word. And in a business where silence usually means protection, her shift in tone is making people pay attention. Meanwhile, Diddy's facing the storm of his life. The lawsuits are stacking, the stories are dark, and the people speaking out aren't just bitter ex-friends. These are lawyers, insiders, former employees, all painting a picture of ritualistic abuse and exploitation. One lawyer, Tony Busby, flat out said they've got names they're sitting on. Big names. Names that'll shake the room once they're confirmed. And from what's been whispered, the Carter name is high on that list. When Jaguar Wright dropped her allegations, it wasn't just gossip. It felt like a gut punch to the carefully constructed image Beyonce and Jay-Z had spent decades building. She accused them of being deeper in Diddy's circle than anyone realized. Not just attending parties, but being part of something darker. And before anyone could blink, Piers Morgan's episode featuring her was gone, wiped, like it never aired. That's the level of power the Carters have. Media doesn't just bow, it disappears entire segments. Their legal team wasted no time. Alex Spiro showed up like a hired gun. TMZ, Uncensored, even guests on talk shows. Anyone who repeated the claims got a warning or a lawsuit threat. Spiro went so far as to demand a formal apology from Morgan, and guess what? He got it. That kind of media control doesn't happen unless you're pulling strings at the highest level. So now the public is left wondering, why the panic if there's nothing to hide? Some people believe it's all just damage control. Beyonce and Jay-Z weren't the ones throwing the parties, right? Maybe they were just there, but others aren't so sure. The industry isn't that simple. Being present, being silent, that's what some are calling being complicit. And that's the uncomfortable part nobody wants to admit. Because if they really were around all this behavior and did nothing, doesn't that make them part of it? And that brings us back to Rihanna. Her sudden absence from Carter events and title promotions didn't go unnoticed. She was once the label's crown jewel. So what made her disappear from the circle so quickly? Some say it was loyalty to her own values. Others believe she saw the cracks forming early on and decided to get out before it collapsed. And if she's really speaking up now, well, that's about to make things messy. Fans have been picking apart her lyrics, her interviews, even her silence. That moment where she thanked Jay-Z during her Grammy speech looked normal, but when you watch Beyonce's face in the audience, that was tension. That was raw. Shortly after, Beyonce dropped Bow Down, a track that felt like a direct shot. Lines like, "Don't get it twisted, bow down," didn't sound like female empowerment. It sounded like a warning, like she was reminding someone of their place. It's not just the women feeling the heat either. Jay-Z's been called out by people who've worked with him, been around him. Even DaBaby mentioned being at an intimate Diddy party, just 15 people, and Jay-Z and Beyonce were two of them. That means they weren't just casual friends. They were regulars, inner circle. And now that Diddy's being exposed, anyone who stood in that room with him is being scrutinized. Then there's 50 Cent, who's never been shy about his thoughts. He posted Jay-Z's face with a caption saying he won't come out until the storm blows over. No brunches, no appearances, just silence. And from someone like 50, that post felt like more than a joke. It was a statement, a reminder that some people know what really went down. The internet has been quick to connect dots, and celebrities are learning fast that the court of public opinion doesn't wait for evidence, it runs on vibes, screenshots, and history. Beyonce and Jay-Z may have the money and lawyers, but what they don't have is the ability to stop people from remembering. Remembering the photos, the parties, the connections. And in a culture that thrives on exposure, silence is starting to feel like guilt. Wendy Williams had been hinting at something for years, and nobody took her seriously until now. She called Beyonce evil long before any of these headlines started breaking. She claimed Beyonce was jealous of women like Adele and Rihanna, those who rose on their own merit and weren't part of some orchestrated machine. People laughed her off, chalking it up to TV drama. But looking back, some of the things she said don't sound so crazy anymore. That infamous live stroke Wendy suffered on camera? Some are calling it a coincidence. Others whisper that it was punishment for talking too much, because if there's one thing this industry does well, it's making examples out of people. Her entire show was axed not long after, and suddenly, someone who built her career on being loud was gone. Silenced. Whether you believe in conspiracy or not, the timing was brutal. Then there are the artists leaving trails in their music. She Coles, She Knows, is getting a second listen, the title's being picked apart. She Knows, as in Beyonce's real name, Knowles. The lyrics hit different now. He raps about bad things happening to people you love, but not feeling sympathy because he saw it all coming. That sounds like more than just heartbreak. That sounds like regret from someone who saw darkness and didn't stop it. Rihanna's The Monster with Eminem is also being re-examined. Lyrics about selling your soul, battling demons, and being friends with monsters under the bed, people thought it was metaphorical. Now, some fans are wondering if it was more literal than we realized. Rihanna's performance in that song always felt personal, but with the recent allegations surfacing, it hits harder. She might have been surrounded by monsters all along, and now she's finally calling them out. But the real question is, why now? Why are people speaking out after years of silence? Some say it's because Diddy's fall cracked the dam. He was the first domino, and now others are shaking. With legal teams digging deeper, people are scared. Some are cooperating, others are scrambling, and those who were once untouchable, like Jay-Z and Beyonce, are suddenly looking more human. Public memory is short, but this time it feels different. This time, too many eyes are watching. Too many receipts are being saved. The Carter brand was always pristine, controlled, polished, untouchable. But now it's being dragged through the mud, and no amount of PR magic can make people forget. Photos don't lie. Party guest lists don't lie. Old interviews, offhand comments, leaked footage, they all start to connect like puzzle pieces. And when people think back to how quickly careers have ended after crossing the Carters, Wendy Williams, Carrie Hilson, even unconfirmed whispers about certain journalists, it paints a picture of people who don't just defend their name, but destroy those who question it. That kind of power doesn't come from talent alone. It comes from leverage, connections, and control. Now fans are watching closely. Every move, every post, every absence from public events. Beyonce hasn't made a single statement. Jay-Z has gone silent too. Their lawyer does all the talking now. But silence is starting to feel like a statement in itself. And with Rihanna's name back in the conversation, her next move could shift the narrative entirely. One thing's clear. The days of celebrities hiding behind fame and fortune are fading. The internet never forgets. And when the curtain starts to fall, even the biggest stars can't stop the lights from exposing what's behind it.